Right everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the F123 Driver Career Mode with Alpine. This is episode number 63 today for the Portuguese Grand Prix of Season 4, round number 15. If you missed the previous episode at Brazil, I recommend you go and check that one out because, spoiler, Piastri didn't win the championship there. Now, I don't think we can. It would be a miracle to claw back 50 points in 2 races, But yes, we are going to have some rain as well, influencing qualifying and also part of the race, so that will be interesting. R&D wise, not really much doing there. There's a regulation changing game really, and most of the teams are pretty much almost maxed out. So yeah, all of it is just converting those Sashi upgrades basically and making sure that they are transferred. Not that it really makes a difference because we're not continuing into season 5 with this career mode, but yes, nevertheless, we're going to move to qualifying, and that's not the Portuguese weather I was actually hoping for. Yes, it's pouring, it's chucking it down with rain, and well, obviously, we'll see what we can do. Currently, actual fact, first lap was good enough for P3, and we're going to risk it here. Only man on intermediate tyres. Everyone else is going out in full wets as well, but we are gaining for a little bit through turn 1. Just to scrape the understeer through that corner. We just lost a 10th. Maybe parts of this is not intermediate weather, but I'm hoping it will dry up in the final part of the sector, and we'll be able to gain time there as we go around the outside of our teammate. It's just set his time on P5 as well. We're 10th and a bit down on our previous best time, but notice the dry line possibly coming in now. If we can stick to that, though, I think we gained a bit through these corners. Yes, it's not enough to go green, but nevertheless, we are starting to gain through the middle sector. Almost up on a bit of understeer. I didn't want to go that wide, but we are going to go through this corner. Through that corner, look, we gained a 10th through that corner. We're up on there, 4 tenths up on Ocon's best time as well. I don't know where we are against the previous. We have to brake early in this corner and then max it out on the exit there. So as we are a 10th up on our previous best time of 28.6 on 4 wets. Yeah, the final sector is definitely intermediates, but the first sector definitely wasn't, which is it was a risk as well. It's not exactly going to pay off, and it's only P7, but I've had worse qualifying. Piastri 2027. No, he's going to round out this championship with a win at this rate, but yeah, Albon though down in P11, so if he wants to come back at us for P2, he needs to be doing better than that. So yes, well, we'll see what we can do from 7th place on the grid. It's time for the race. It's time for today's Portuguese Grand Prix. So we are down the grid. Race strategy is a 2-stop, but don't look at that rain icon there. There's 1 icon of heavy rain and 2 icons of light rain. And this got me thinking that, it's going to be, we could 1 stop from hards, but, and I say but, this is F123, the tyre wear is not realistic, so we're going to go 2 sets of softs instead. It should be faster than a set of hards to the rain period. 5 lights then, and away we go, and it's a good start, much better than Sonoda and Porsche, and dreadful start for Piastri there. There's the Red Bull and Norris go side by side, both being forced down. We dance round the outside, almost going into the back of Norris there at turn 3. Here's what happened to Piastri there. A dreadful start. He's got Porsche, who had an equally bad start, was inside, but he forces Porsche off as well. You jump to lap 9 then. As well, here's George Russell. He's on the back of Yuki Tsunoda, but for George, 9 laps is all he's going to manage in this race, as he's out of the race with an engine failure. As well, we jump later in this race, then you can see it's starting to get darker, and the 2 Red Bulls are scrapping away, which has just allowed myself and Norris to run away at this moment point. I've got to point out, at this moment in time, I'm not going to lie, it's not the most thrilling race as well, as Piastri is defending from Porsche. Go on, Teo, around the outside. And Teo gets the position. Very well done. As well, as it starts to rain now on lap 17. So the rain has come earlier. You know, I mean, did they get their weather report from the BBC or something like that? I don't know. But yeah, we're having a bit of a twitch there on the back end. Here's the replay of it. You know, just watch this. Drift, and there's the back end stepping out. Massive back end loss as well. Don't really see that in real life either, but there we go. It is time for intermediates. It is getting a bit wet. DRS is disabled at the perfect time, so we're just coming out the pits with Lando and Norris. Norris, to be fair, has been he was rolling away in the first stint, was catching him back up at the end as well. Now we move on to intermediates. It's a different ball story. Perez has stayed out another lap as well. The man who's made moves though is Carlos Sainz. He's up to P5 behind Teo Porcher as well. He's catching up to Porcher, but not quite enough. He's jumped Piastri and Tsunoda. So yes, Sainz is up to P5, excuse me, not P4. Now I'm not going to lie, nothing really happened in the intermediate stint other than Norris making his gap even bigger. As well, I just didn't have the pace compared to him on the Inters for some reason. So yes, this is the second stop of the day already, and we're going on to set for wets because it is starting to chuck itself down. Well, Porsche as well, Verstappen, he's still behind Verstappen, so nice to get Tay on the podium. I think Ocon's going to carry on and briefly take the lead. That looked a bit close between Norris and Ocon. We'll get a replay of this. So on board with Norris's nose cam as well. There's the Ferrari, and Norris was well aware of where that Ferrari was, otherwise that could have been race-ending contact. As we move through the race then, it is miserable weather here in Portugal, and one man who isn't enjoying the condition is Felipe Drugovich, as he has had a Spinala as well, and that's where we are on lap 32. And I've been catching Lando Norris. I don't know what it is, but the set of wet tyres are absolutely fabulous. You know, we've been going a lot faster. That gap was, what, 4.5 seconds we came at the pits. It's now half a second. But admittedly, we probably need DRS to get past there, as Teo Porcher, he is coming into the pits the next lap behind us. So it's time to switch back to intermediate tyres. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying, because we've closed right up to Norris, 2/10, but then look, you know, just the traction they get at that final corner is a joke as well. We come into the pits then on lap 33, halfway distance as well. I'm interested to see how far they go. We've caught up to some back markers as well. That group, you know, Drogovic is obviously a lap down after Spinala as well. Is this a good enough stop? No, he goes through Norris's rear end. You know, I was hoping to jump him, but nevertheless, that is where we are. 2.2 second stop, very good by the Alpine team, and we are now hoping to catch up to Norris. We've got these little lap cars as well. Yeah, lap cars thankfully gets out of the way, but Norris is, just like on that first stint of intermediates, he's starting to run away a bit as well. You can see Verstappen, you know, the Norris, myself and Norris are running away from the rest of the field. We could lap the whole of them. We're that far ahead as well. And what is the Williams doing? I don't know what it is, but there's always I always have PTSD of what Williams are doing, especially back to that Monaco race with Logan Sargent a few seasons ago. But yeah, Porsche he's not close to Verstappen, but he is ahead of Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez, who did an extra lap on the medium tyres. We catch up to yet another Williams as well, and this one finally, thankfully, does get out of the way as well. I'm not entirely sure how many times we've lapped him. Next up, we've got our old teammate Kevin Magnussen, who just decides to go very deep. Thank you, Kevin, and we're up to P. Lapped him as well. Lap 43 is looking dry, but Mark doesn't think it's time for dry tyres yet as well. As we get a warning for exceeding track limits, that bump is there, and just like that, DRS has been enabled. Look at this. This definitely needs to be fixed. Although, Portimao is the only DLC track on F124 because Paul Ricard has been sentenced to death on the F1 game. So yes, I'm hoping they don't get rid of Portimao, because despite the lack of racing, sometimes it is a fun track to drive as well, and a different track to drive than the 24 that we've got as well. We are into the pits at the end of lap 45 for a set of soft tyres. 20 laps on a set of softs. It's a bit of a stretch, but I think we can make it do. Notice Norris is on mediums, so having that offset against Norris doesn't matter. And again, there's another Williams in the way. Goodness grief. As well, we're going to hopefully get past this Williams, but for some reason, this Williams didn't. They didn't give him blue flags as well. So I'm having to actually make an overtake on a Williams who's on inters on a dry circuit. Shouldn't have to be making that overtake, but there we go. Now notice Max Verstappen, he has a 5-second time penalty for teleporting out the pit lane. Teleporting across the pit lane. Watch this, it's the same what happened in Silverstone. Was it season 3? There we go. He teleports across and then obviously drives back to the right hand side as well. Oh, it's unfortunate for Max. It always happens to Verstappen. Max, his AI, is the only one that has that, I think. But let me know if you've seen it on any other one else. As we're watching now, Oscar Piastri, the man who did take pole in this race, getting past Carlos Sainz. Seems to set their car up for dry and not for the wet there as well. Now closing in on Lando and Norris, but unable to get past. Excuse me as well. You see Porsche and Piastri have both got past Perez as well at this point as well. But we are going to fast forward through this lap. Because it is, Lando is starting. I don't know what it is, but he's starting to slow down. His pace has gone off. Definitely not showing that pace. I wonder that we've got the tyre offset. We've got better tyre wear than the Mercedes as well through our upgrades. I don't think Mercedes have maxed out their tyre upgrades anyway. But yes, we have to wait a whole lap to get another opportunity to go past. And this time we are close enough to go round the outside of turn 1. We leave space on the inside, but we have made the move, and finally, after about 1,000 laps of being behind, we are into the lead. Here's the replay of this, just to show you a replay. And again, it looks easy, to be honest. The jump lap to 61, and you notice it's getting cloudy again. Yes, that's right. The rain is coming back again. As well for a second spell, as Alfa Romeo very kindly gets out of the way as well. Notice Porsche, he is in 5 seconds of Verstappen, we'll see, and he's closing in on Verstappen as the Haas car very kindly gets out of the way once gave me DRS as well to pull away from Norris. It is starting to rain, but it's not raining enough to think about inters. It would have been a challenge. He would have come out in P2, and it would have been a challenge to try and catch Norris. But too few laps are left. And yet another Williams lapping for about the 58th time this race, as well, getting past one of them as well, and then we're going to get past the second of them in the braking zone at turn 5. as well. Notice Porsche even closer now, and Piastri, all of them closing in on Verstappen. Here it is, Teo Porsche then. DRS is not yet been disabled due to the rain, so it's not raining heavy enough, the FIA, to disable it, and Porsche comes out the DRS, takes the racing line. Verstappen though does put a bit of a fight, but is squeezed out, and Porsche is up to P3. And of all the nuisance that the Williams has caused is Lance Stroll. He's out of the race with an engine failure on lap 64 as well. So of all the nuisance, which is about, for him, that's about lap 5. But I mean, anyway, he's out of the race. DRS has been disabled, but I'm in the final corner, so the rain has come too late again. The only race that I remember that I've had where there's been this much dry wet was a Belgium race a few years ago. I think that was on F1 2020, I want to say. But we crossed the line.
Well, mate, thank you for giving that your best effort. It might not have been our day today. We've had a tough old afternoon, but it's been an incredible season. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. And we'll definitely come back stronger next year, eh?
It's certainly been an incredible year for Formula One, and our drivers have pushed themselves this season, making it one of the most compelling years of racing in history. There can only be one champion, however, and here they are now, our new Formula One World Drivers' Champion. And that's it then for the Portuguese Grand Prix, and what a sensational victory they've managed to pull off. Natalie, fill us in. What was it that helped the team achieve their success today?
I want to know if that was as easy as it looked. An absolute masterclass today.
Here comes your top 3, making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Chasing Lando for all being behind, we were behind him for so many laps. You know, just chasing him. You know, trying to. And, you know, it wasn't exactly the most exciting race. You know, we weren't exactly trading places, 1 or 2, but it was, you know, a pace race, you know, who had the advantage on, and also which tyres. It was interesting to see that it swung the momentum between, you know, Lando had that advantage on the softs at the start, and then obviously in the inters, and then also, then obviously I had the advantage, cut that down in the wets, then obviously in the dry period, in the second dry period, then obviously I was able to pull away and set fastest lap on a 16.9. Verstappen set a 17.1, so, you know, as well, he finished down in P6 with his 5-second teleportation penalty. But yeah, Oscar Piastri, I mean, it was well deserved. I mean, the man has started out the season by winning every other race. He didn't win back-to-back races. He hasn't won the last couple, as McLaren have been sort of out upgraded really by the other teams. But whether or not they're thinking about next season 4, we'll have to wait and see. Constructors, McLaren scooped up ages ago, but second place is now definitely secure thanks to Teo's second podium of the season. Yeah, very good. Well, good job from him. You know, to come sort of best of the race. You know, myself and Lando, we were in another league today, half a minute ahead of everyone else. It is 3 race wins in a row, as well. Can we make it 4 out of 4? That's the question. The final race of this career mode and this series will be at Las Vegas. That will be another 100% video out next week. Yes. And then after that, there will be one more video at Imola, I think, as well. Although I don't know what the order of that is going to be at the moment, at this moment in time, whether that Imola comes out after or before that Vegas career mode. But yes, that will be coming at least next week, as well as we get ready for F1 24's driver career mode. Details will be revealed soon about that. So yes, yeah, if you have enjoyed though, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, see plenty more F1 23 and F1 24 driver career mode and F1 gameplay videos. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day and goodbye.